are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master this evening, or this morning, or this afternoon, wherever this finds you, whenever this finds you. Today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign, playing Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, my backwards cover edition, playing through the 2013 adventure, Legacy of the Crystal Shard. We are also drawing on a substantial amount of material from Wizards of the Coast. I don't see it easily at hand here. Recent Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden adventure. So if you are intending on playing Rime of the Frostmaiden at some point, this will contain spoilers for that. So be sure to, if you do want to play through that, come back and watch us at another time, see what we've changed, see what we've added, see what we've screwed up, and and avoid having that module spoiled for you. If you don't care about the Icewind Dale or Rime of the Frostmaiden at least, or you intend on running it, well then welcome. Let me introduce you to the stars of our quarantine campaign here, the Quarantine Crusaders themselves. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you currently. First up, we've got Dave.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave, and I'm playing Lexorak Wiltshire, also known as Lex. He is a 7th level ranger of Myliki, and he's a half-elf, and he kicks ass.
That he does. I think he's got one ice switch under his belt, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. One avatar notch on the sword.
Yep, good stuff. Next up is Brandon.
Hi, I'm Bryn. I'm playing Grim Buckman. He's a human wizard, level 6.
Very nice. Next up is John.
Hey everyone, I'm John, and I'm playing Falcarel Hawkfriend, half-elven ranger and specialty priest of Solinar, and I'm level 7 in both classes.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least is Mo.
Hi, I'm Morris. I'm playing Thomas Branner, who is a 8th level fighter.
Very nice.
Let me just check. Yes, he is. Sorry.
All right. So, guys, we were talking just before we went live that last time we ended, at least spent the second half of the session doing quite a bit of planning. But I had to go back and refresh my memory for what happened. So, and from our brief chat from beforehand, I think all of us sort of forgot. So what we thought we'd do is create an actual list in chat of the various options you guys have before you. We may end up just like remembering over the course of doing this, but we open our session with you guys in the Dwarven Valley. You've spent a couple of days revisiting with your friends and allies in the Dwarven Valley, awaiting the arrival of the survivors of the Elk tribe that were being escorted by the Goliaths back from Evermelt. So, what are the potential, I guess, like, the irons in your fire here, guys? Yeah, who is your chronicler? It's not me, I'll tell you that.
I say it's great.
I'm trying. Yeah, hold on a second. Where's the... Oh, the cities aren't on this map. Okay, that makes it hard. I was trying to figure out how to spell Kyr Dinnerval, but I don't remember... Bryn Shander. No, it was Bryn Shander. That's right.
Bryn Shander, yeah.
Because I remember one of the things we talked about towards the end is like, because we were worried about having to compete with all of the other wizards aiming for the Netherese ruins. We talked about contacting our, getting in touch with our Harper contact in Bryn Shander, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Her name, Devessa Shane, I think. Oh, no, that was the former speaker.
That's right.
Let's see here. There's a handout.
Where
is she?
Okay. Grim's taking note.
Kind of.
Okay. Devessa Shane in Bryn Shander.
Devessa Shane was the former speaker who lost the speakership to Mithron.
Mithron, yeah, there she is.
Yep, she was the
cleric.
Cleric of a Monitor, the renamed Lathander.
Yeah, I think we also discussed briefly finding the refugees wherever they are and checking in on them.
Oh yeah.
Maybe as part of our way to the Netherese ruins.
Okay. Anything else?
Trying to think.
We did briefly discuss, I believe, going back much further sort of south to Candlekeep or get some research done. But I think that was probably one of the minor options.
So what was the
research?
what was the research specifically going to be into?
Well, I think we wanted to try and find potential, other dragons that could help us, or research in ways of fighting the dragon. Because when we fought it before, it was just literally zooming down out of the mist, hitting us, and going away, and we could do nothing. Or a way of bypassing it, I think, would be the other option. But I think that was one of the more minor options we discussed.
Yeah.
Oh, you're muted, Dave. Or you might be muted. I can't hear you.
Everybody drink.
Yeah.
Sure. We had those silver dragon wings. I think that got into what Mo was talking about.
Yeah.
That would give somebody the ability to fly. But yeah, we need some kind of help against the dragon and the white witch.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons we wanted to see about the Harper contact is we were hoping to get some insight into possibly using that portal at the first Netherese, the inverted tower ruin.
Yep.
And that was one of the things we were trying to get that way, because Candlekeep does not seem to be a good option for us for a variety of reasons we discussed last time, that we might be being used.
And it is a long way away.
And it's a long way away, yeah. I mean, and if anything, there's probably people closer that we'd rather ally with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that, like, I was in the impression that at the end we were kind of set on the at least reestablish contact with our Harper contact.
Yeah.
To see what they said.
Well, I guess the other thing is too is the you don't know what else might be found in the Caves of Hunger, because you guys never.
Well, that's the other one we figured there's another way forward there if we can get past.
Definitely said no to the Caves of Hunger, but Kev keeps bringing it up.
He wants us to go have an encounter with Father Limmick.
Nasty Cthulhu-based monsters.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
If that's where we gotta go, that's the way we gotta go.
Didn't somebody not lose control, but someone have something haunting them as a result of that?
I don't think so.
No?
The dog... No, wait, I had to...
my dreams.
Oh, the dog was. Yeah.
I had to put somebody to sleep. Oh,
yep. Yeah, that's right. You get to put him to sleep and try.
Yeah, that's right. Stop.
I'm sure it's fine, though. Nothing to worry about there. All
Isn't
right.
doing nothing an option? Doing nothing's always an option, right?
Doing an option, yep, that's definitely...
No. Screw this.
Screw this. I'm retiring. Leave this to somebody else.
Let's join the White Witch's cult. Let's just... we can't beat you. This is...
Two of us have had visions from the gods about that not being an option.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless you want winter to swallow the world.
Well, I mean, we can't stop it.
Lex didn't have a vision, but he did have a wolf that looked like it was sent to aid, which would indicate that his god is also in this somehow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right,
so then, what do you guys wish to do today, then?
I think we gotta... Oh, well, we're in the Dwarven Valley. I don't know if we've got...
And are the refugees that we left at the Sky Tower shelter that we're going to head here on foot with, like, Alehead and the wolves and whatnot, they're not here?
Not here yet, no.
So could we spend a day doing some reconnaissance to try and see if
we're there?
It'll likely take more than a day, but...
Well, you guys are pretty quick, though. Like, the one of the upsides to you guys having Griffin mounts now is, this, I think, is your range for the day?
Yeah, so...
Barring weather.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Let me grab my copy of Frostburn.
He was going to get it eventually.
Weren't they coming from Evermelt, though, originally? There's the Sky Tower shelter group that was meeting up with the Evermelt people, and then they were coming. I thought that's... Yeah.
And do we know if they would likely have followed the river, or gone...
Probably.
Off?
That would make sense, yeah.
City's source of food and the water.
And also just easy navigation so you don't get lost.
Yeah.
Let's see.
How do you do all the dots? I want to know.
Right click.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold
Yeah.
down left and this right click, and it'll put a waypoint for you.
I guess I got to be on the snap to center option. Like, let me ping for a bit.
Yeah. So it shouldn't be much longer until they reach here. It did take you guys almost 2 weeks to get out to Evermount.
Yeah, that's because our guy died really quick. So
There you go. All right. Then, so what are you guys going to be doing tomorrow then? Are we going to trying to find the refugees? Are you just waiting for them here?
Yeah, I think Lex wants to make sure that they arrive safely, so let's go back and find them and escort them in.
could I pick up a composite short bow from the Dwarven Valley?
You should be able to, yeah.
Okay. So I want some ranged options while I fly.
What?
Remember that short bows can only use flight arrows.
Yep.
Pretty smart idea there, Buckroll.
Yeah. Eventually, I'm going to be a mounted knight ranger on a griffin, doing barrel rolls and shooting arrows. It's something to wish for.
Well, you want the quick release saddle then, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think going and finding refugees.
All right.
Well, I think maybe we could also scout Bryn Shander, possibly after we found them. But
Let's go the opposite
anyway,
way, though.
let's go and find our friends and rest of our supplies.
All right. So,
Should we bring some supplies with us in case we find them and they're short?
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
Sounds
might
like.
be worth
Otherwise, what are we
taking.
doing to help
I can
them other than-
I can prep some light and loads so that we can make sure we bring it a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Griffins can carry a fair amount with them as well too.
What
And
is
you've got it's Arnold's character that has the haversack, right?
Yes. He's the one that puts his water skins in there.
Yep.
Yep. So they have a 500-pound carrying capacity. My girl can carry 230 pounds extra.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm 63 and about 250 on my end extra.
Yeah, it's around that for me. So they could easily carry a couple of hundred or 190 without straining themselves.
Okay. The dwarves are happy to supply that stuff if you guys are going to be like flying a relief mission here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. On the day
Capital,
of
do you need to stock up on arrows?
I've got 20 flight arrows. Might buy 20 more. So.
Yeah, I've got some spares as well.
oh boy, Lexi, you're good for arrows.
Yep. I'm not going to switch my bow until I use up these. He's got like 50 arrows right now because he made 20 silvered arrows.
Okay. Then let's see here. Let me grab. Tell me how you're going to be approaching the what route you want to take to try and find these people, or are you going to start flying a grid kind of formation?
Well, we know the route they'd be taking roughly, wouldn't we? So I think we backtrack that.
We don't really know, but we could try.
Yeah.
We can guess, but we don't know because we're not there.
Yeah.
What's our visibility on a decent day?
Visibility on a decent day is where's my DMG? I think it's in here. Oh, that's really optimistic of you to think of the good day.
Conservative estimates.
Yeah. So visibility. Here we go.
Lex could probably tell you what tomorrow's going to look like. It probably won't be going anywhere.
With high wind, maybe.
Oh, we got weather, nice. So no snow today. Oh my god, but crazy wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't think you're traveling today, guys.
Right. Yeah, another day lost.
Well, this is for tomorrow. Lex said a weather sense.
Okay, so but we don't have the roll for today, so that would have been the roll for today.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were departing. So, but let's see what it is tomorrow. Okay, so 60. There will be precipitation. Not bad wind. Relatively light snow. And still just more of the same cold. So tomorrow might be today. You're losing one day to getting prepped and stuff like that. But you can picture that like Lex is standing outside of the Dwarven Valley. The winds are raging as they're going by. Trees are in the valley are sort of like wobbling back and forth as if threatening to fall over. And in spite of that, Lex just says, tomorrow we'll be traveling. Everyone is like, I don't know, Lex, but he definitely will be right about that. So the following morning, you can see it's a beautiful day with light, soft flakes of snow coming down. And here we go, visibility. At 500 yards, you can spot things. You can spot movement.
Okay.
You can't see detail until about 10 yards away.
10 yards?
Oh, that's right. We're just looking for them as a group,
Okay.
so we can fly at like 500 meters, 1,000 meters, and we can cover a lot of ground that way.
1,000 meters is high.
Oh yeah, Ring of Featherfall. I think we need to start investigating as well.
Magic items are at a premium.
All right. So anything else you guys wish to do before you set out the next day? Good. You got supplies for yourself as well, or someone's prepping, prepare for, or create food and water.
Yeah, in the absence of Cola being here, I will do the food and water.
Okay.
And then I got to create campsite in case we need to spend the day out there or the night.
Okay.
Light and load. And some cure spells and a no direction. Yep, I'm good to go.
Excellent. Just get my books organized here. All right. So let's see if anything interesting happens today. Let's see. Okay. Feels as if it's been forever since you guys have been traveling across the plains instead of coming back and forth from Grimscala. All right.
Ground.
I have good news. Why don't you guys show me what route you are taking? I think you guys have control over the party token. Let's see.
We do.
Let's see here.
No, not like that.
We apply a zigzag pattern. How about an outward spiral?
Oh, you know what? That's controlled by... Hold on. Let's see here. This will be controlled by...
I'm thinking we should go up to the mount up here where they would most likely come down, and then start doing maybe a crisscross kind of flight.
Okay. Dave, you have control over the token.
We want to head towards the lake.
Well, I'm thinking if we go, make sure this is visible. Yeah.
They wouldn't come in at the top by the mountain, right? They would have to come in near the bottom.
Well, it'd be the shortest way because there's a path down up here that we kind of avalanched in earlier.
Yep.
And that would be their most likely point. Otherwise, they have to go all the way to the bottom down here. And
We'll fly up to Kelvin's Cairn and then around the base.
Yeah.
So you're thinking they probably wouldn't go up the mountain to come back down?
Probably not.
I figure once we get all the way over here, we could start going down the obvious path they'd come in, maybe.
Down the shore of the lake.
Yeah.
And then once we start going around the lake, they're not going to go all the way there. Maybe they'll cut across.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see how far.
That's actually true. I don't know. They might if they don't know how far away they are from the lake exactly.
Well,
They might go until they hit the lake and be like, "Oh, there's the lake."
Okay.
Some of them are really familiar with the territory, so they might.
So you're about here, where I'm pointing. That is where you come across them.
Oh,
Oh, almost a day travel.
Yeah. So you can see the, I think as you're flying along, following this winding river, across the bleak and empty tundra, you think your eyes are playing tricks on you as through the snow you see some figures up ahead. And as you get closer, you can see that it is the full caravan, complete with the Goliaths that were going to assist you, along with Lex's dog, Grimm's stone wolf, and Alehead.
Southpaw? No.
Southpaw? What did you call? Is that what you called him?
Yeah, Southpaw. Who's a brown wolf? Or
Brown wolf. Yep. Awesome. So then, you guys, as you fly down, there's a cheer that sort of erupts from the caravan as you guys land. In particular, once you sort of let everyone know that you have food with you as well, and your surviving allies. Let's see here, I believe.
Yes, that.
Yeah, boy, that's far away. Whew. Caves of Hunger, Sky Tower Shelter, that's... Oh. Bring these guys
If there's
back.
anybody that has like a real serious wound that could be like healed with a Cure Serious, I'll try and minister to them.
Okay.
Oh.
And these, I believe, are these the survivors? Garnig, Bocho, and Jellicoe?
I believe so.
I think that sounds
Yes,
right.
one died, didn't they? In the Caves
Well,
of
you
Hunger?
guys have gone through a couple of...
Yeah. I think
Two, yeah.
yeah,
Both controlled by me.
better them than you.
Because there was the Airsats Conan one. Jellicoe is the druid, isn't she?
Jellicoe is a druid.
Yeah.
Usko died.
Oh yeah, yeah. Garnig is the bard.
Bard, correct.
Yeah,
Yes, I remember him.
yeah. And Bocho is the ranger as well.
That's right.
All right. So they, along with the chieftain of the what do you call it? The Hangar would be there as well as part of the caravan. And
You gave him back his amulet, right?
yep,
Okay.
king of the Elks.
Mhm.
And you can see that the shaman, as well as that the guy who is the White Witch's father.
Yeah.
He's likewise traveling with them. So, what do you guys? So they're it's later in the day. Like it's near to them breaking camp to make camp for the thing when you guys arrive, and the I think that they attribute the good weather that they had today as part of the good omen that they'd be coming across you. So you left Ostin with them as well too, didn't you?
Yes.
Yep, and Ostin will be rejoining your group as well.
If we don't fly off and leave them again.
I mean, when you do, we know what you're...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they don't have griffins, so.
Yeah, they don't really.
So Ostin in particular would be interested to hear what's happened. What have you done? Have you completed your task? Did you find the White Witch? Did you defeat the White Witch?
Found is a relative term, and defeat, no. We'll regale him with the tale.
Sure.
And then let him know that it was a combination of a white dragon in the worst possible weather and whatnot that made us realize that.
So you can picture that they've struck camp here. They've got tents set up. There's a mixture of both the members of surviving members of the tribe of the Elk, as well as new Goliaths that you know from Sky Tower Shelter have joined here. We don't see Kola today because he is off, reacquainting himself with Alehead. and like, oh, I've missed you so much. And the we can picture that the torches are burning. There's a small fire, and like the important people are sort of sitting around this particular fire. So you've got the shaman from the elk tribe, and actually I can find his name for you. Let's see here. You can see the king of the elk tribe.
Let's see.
So Mjolnir Tormhalt is the shaman, and Gerund Elkhart is the king. Hengar is there as well. And Ostin is sitting around here, as well as your fellow adventurers. They would happily tell you that, so I think Joliku is quite quiet. Bocho is fairly reserved. I think Gerning was even quite shy as well. I think what they tell you is that they kept their oath. They kept their people safe. They were attacked by Yeti. They were attacked by Cold Light Walkers, but they managed to drive everything off.
Any casualties?
Sadly, there were some. They attacked like almost like Cragcass, seeing a fattened herd and picking off the weakest among. But they were avenged, says the king, Gerund. So you finish telling your tale of what's happened, and everyone seems to be contemplating, then what Mjolnir, the priest or the shaman, says. Then so the White Witch then is free to roam her domain, just not in the Dale.
Correct.
Well, we dealt with one of our avatars. Whether that's weakened her or not, I don't know.
Well, you traveled to her domain. You walked the ancient isle.
And we saw the frozen garden.
Oh, there's sort of like a murmuring amongst the both the Goliaths and that. Like, this stuff is, it may feel like second, like just another day, at the job for you guys. But remember that Grimskala is a like a thing of legend. From before even elves arose in the Forgotten Realms. That's when Grimskala was created. So you guys might as well be describing how you walked the fields out of Vanaheim, or you trod the halls of Olympus. It's the Goliaths in particular, like, whoa.
And Tom here went toe-to-toe with a frost giant.
Oh, some more murmuring.
I leave out the part where he got thrown off a cliff.
Smashed into a pulp.
I got better.
Thrown in the ocean. Okay.
But, it was a combination of the just her power there was great, and with the white dragon protecting the area, and we had to come back for supplies and respite and a way to seek things to help us fight her. So,
Hangar asks, "What is it you seek?"
Well, I kind of like glimpse over at Grim and then back at them. Artifact is some power to help match her strength.
Where do you think you may find such power?
That's what our search is for. We know there are some ancient runes below the ice in certain areas that we may delve into.
I think Gernig, at that sort of, he's not going to make a lot of noise about it, but I think that you guys have come to know him well enough that he looks concerned about that. I guess Gernig, Bocho, and Joliku have walked those ruins with you guys, or at least some of them. Right.
Falgrel, he'll nod and say, if the situation wasn't as dire, we wouldn't even think of doing so.
Also, these ruins are being sought out by people with less scruples than us. I think it'd be best if we beat them to it.
Ostin sort of, he looks over at that. Who?
What are they? The
Luskins.
Luskins.
The Arcane Brotherhood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Falgrel say, speaking of them, there has been, where you're going, the Dwarven Valley, there has been an encampment made by the humans on the far west side that seek to mine and delve into the tunnels below. That is a situation you should be mindful of when you get there.
We have reason to believe that the townspeaker, Bryn Shander, is in league with the Luskins, and he's an asshole, so...
King Gerund asks, and the Dwarf King, what is his position on that?
He's asked them to leave politely, and they have refused. And eventually, I believe there will be battle. But as of right now, there is peace.
They are folk of the 10 towns, though?
Aye.
At least some of them.
Others...
They claim to the Dwarven Valley. They want the dwarves to pay to reside there.
King Gerund sort of looks, incredulous. The dwarves have been there since my people roamed. Actually, that's not true. The dwarves only came there after the fall of Mithril Hall. They have been there since the time of my grandfather's grandfather. These folk, they are from outside the Dale.
Them or some of their leaders. Whoever's pulling the strings or manipulating the folks of the 10 town. If they were reasonable, we'd have less problems.
If these outsiders think that they can drive the dwarves from their home, they will find that they have more than beards and axes to face. And he looks, says, "Ho!" And the rest of the elk tribe kind of, "Hurrah!"
My feelings exactly. The rigor, ferocity is legendary. Now we bring Goliath friends, feathers and claws of our griffins, and the steel of the dwarven armor that I wear. They will find no purchase in the valley.
Hengar asks, "Is your intent to deal with them?"
Priorities keep us from dealing with them at the moment, and I fear open hostilities will anger the 10 towns as long as the new leadership is in power.
I'm trying to remember if you guys told King Gerund about the new leadership or not. I'm not sure if you guys would have had time to do that, but if you bring him sort of up to speed with what's going on, and Hengar can definitely share, his experience in Bryn Shander is dramatically different than what they've had before. The folk of the 10 towns have turned. The elk tribe will find no friends among them, and they are quite. You may remember that most of the Ragged tribes are at best, tolerant of the 10 towns, but more often they're not allies with them. The elk tribe was the outlier to that. That seems to no longer be the case. And the sentiment and the sort of comments you get from the elk tribe is effectively, if they want to fight, they'll find one.
Well, and with the threat of the White Witch, we can't be fighting amongst ourselves, lest we weaken ourselves.
The King Jaren says you said yourself they've taken they've claimed the Dwarves Valley as their own. I would say that the first the fight has come and cannot be avoided.
Yes, but the first stone has not been thrown, so.
No, they've simply taken it.
They've tried to take it. I think they are full of piss and wind, as we'd say in the south.
Are they in the valley or not?
No, they are camped above the ridge line to the west.
Things may be different with your folk, elves, but when a man sleeps in your bed, his intentions seem clear.
Yes. I'm aware.
Yeah,
As long as they're there, the dwarves will not be able to aid us.
then
You can't send your troops out to battle while someone's camped in your backyard.
I will not make decisions for another king's kingdom, but we shall see. With the hospitality offered by the dwarves, the friendship we once found with the 10 towns may now be found among them. And if these allies are found in need of assistance, they will not find the elk willing to shirk the gratitude that is owed to them. The Goliaths, the way their heads are sort of nodding up and down, you get the sense that they're on board with that as well too. So it seems that it will be, that King Gerund is gonna, he's not gonna show up and start causing problems, and we'll speak to the Thane. Now let's see here. For them,
our intent is to drive them off in time.
Yep. Just counting how many days. So it's almost a week until they reach the Dwarven Valley. 5 days and change. What do you guys wish to do? What's your intent? Now that you've found them, are you intent on traveling with them? You've offloaded all of your supplies, so they certainly have more than enough food to make the journey safely. But do you want to stay with them, or do you wish to...
Now that we're here, I kind of feel some kind of obligation to make sure they make it most of the way safely. And with our ability to fly above and keep an eye out, we could stop whatever tries to pounce on them.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And we ought to have possibly a good reunion meal this evening, I think, to welcome them.
Oh, yeah, you guys will do that. If only your dwarven priest was here to recharge his ring. So then...
And Alehead must be sure engrossing.
Yeah.
He's just ignoring the party.
You just see him in the background riding on the back of Alehead. Wahoo! Yeah. Wahoo!
I think that night Lex and Lex, Southpaw, and Violet have a happy little family curl up.
Yeah,
it's like Violet lays down and then Lex like curls up, near her belly or whatever, nice and warm, and Southpaw snuggles in, and they all just kind of like huddle together with a big pile of fur and feathers.
That's awesome. I'm picturing the two of them, meeting. It's like a dog seeing a horse for the first time, trying to figure out, like, what is this big dog? What's going on here? Although they're both predators, so they would sort of recognize, I think, that element of each other.
Yeah. Well, and they've known each other from before, so this is... They've had that moment. Now it's the, hey, you! I haven't seen you in a long time.
Have they spent... Like, I know you had Southpaw before when you got Violet, but I thought that you guys got the Griffins and sort of took off right away.
I thought we trained for a bit up at the Sky Tower Shelter.
You don't have to do training in this game, in this campaign at least.
No, not training. Not training in that sense, but like we in the narrative stayed a couple of days to learn how to at least.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. With them having met for briefly during that period, but that would have been almost a month ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe there's still this curiosity thing going on, and
yeah. Okay.
And then it's like Lex just like plays them both to like calm down and relax and come over and hang out, and by the end of the night everyone's all settled in, nice and cozy.
Love it.
Grim's feeling left out with the stone wolf. Doesn't seem to be showing him much reception.
Yeah.
Did you learn mending yet?
No, it's still beat up. I have mending.
Hold on, the stone. Let me get the stone wolf token.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Where is he? Last you saw him, I think, was the Caves of Hunger, right?
Yeah, that's the last time I used him. I took him to Sky Tower Shelter. Was last.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the most up-to-date token. So it's been a month. Yeah, Pine Stalker's got a big X through him. Alas, poor Pine Stalker. Or Usco. Okay, here is your stone wolf here.
I hate it when I'm making something and I realize I don't like what I just did for the pattern, so I got to take it all apart.
Yep. Oh, that's one of the nice things with like all my art's digital, and it's one of the nice things with that is just like if you don't like something, you're like, fuck it. Either Control Z or just like erase the layer.
Yeah.
Here's one.
That looks about right.
It seems fully mended.
Oh, cool. I like that. He'll inquire on his off time about who is responsible for that because he wants to thank him.
Yeah. Valkyro looks around at all the companion creatures. He's like, I miss my Yeti.
What happened to the Yeti?
Lex left
we
it somewhere.
cut to a snowdrift with a little tiny paw sticking out of it.
Oh!
I didn't leave it somewhere. We went into Sky Tower Shelter and left it outside.
You were in charge.
You need to take better care of your pets. So.
It wasn't a pet. It's a monster.
Hey, yeah, could have redeemed him.
Semi-intelligent, right? So that thing, no, they're fully intelligent, and this thing was just small. It looked young. I think that it's probably been lurking on the outskirts of the what do you call it? Of the encampment. So, Falcro, if you do find yourself spending some time away from the caravan, you will find your little friend again, your Yeti type.
I will definitely do that.
I sent you a link for potential self-paw picture. I don't know if we had a self-paw picture.
Oh, if it's in chat, I can't follow it in this. I'll take a look at it when we're offline.
Okay.
Or off the stream.
I'll grab a copy of it.
Yeah. If you, do we have a token or character sheet or something for Southpaw? I don't think so. No. Yeah, I will take a look at that afterwards. It's just the I can't do that in stream, otherwise it'll go to that thing instead.
Sounds good.
Okay. So anything else happened this night with the reunion with the Elk tribe, with Ostin, with the Goliaths? So in terms of, I guess, where Ostin wants to stay, he has been seemingly welcomed as sort of a protector of sorts with the Elk tribe. You hear that. It seems that you guys may have missed a bit of adventure because the four, like the three Goliaths and Ostin, have really turned out to be sort of the key protectors. They were the heroes of the caravan, and the relationship between the even though Ostin not only was an outcast but was part of the Bear tribe, he has been welcomed as a champion of the Elk tribe, as are all of the Goliaths.
Nice.
They didn't even need us, Falcro. They didn't need us.
Well, still, some of them might be wounded.
Yeah, if you want to, there certainly may have been someone who was, who was injured over the course of the trip here. So,
yeah, and it's kind of a predator tactic. Like if they can't kill something, they'll wound it and come back for it later.
Yeah.
So I'll try and minister to anybody that I find that needs healing.
Okay.
And then that'll be me making my way out to the outskirts of the encampment, and then maybe finding the tyke.
Okay. So one thing that let's see here. No. Okay. Anything else you guys wish to have happen this evening before we go to the next day?
Seems like a really good day.
Okay. Great. So then next day, well, I guess let's have our resident weather sensor. Look at that. One again.
Getting all those ones out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, what's tomorrow going to be like? Maybe Maybe it'll warm up a bit.
Okay. So there will be precipitation. It's going to be medium snow. The wind is almost non-existent, though. So it's going to be heavier snow today, which means it'll be the visibility will be affected. And the weather. Let's see. I think there's a change in the weather, or the temperature, I should say. Let's see here. I picture every time I pick up this book now that George gets like a chill down his spine. Oh, Jesus. It is an amazing book. Like, jokes aside, the ideas that are in Frostburn for making a fantasy cold setting better is definitely amazing.
No, George is out for breakfast with his family, and all of a sudden he gets this like curled up, half menacing grin. He's like,
"What are you thinking about, honey?" Nothing.
A little bit of malevolence creeps in. And his family gets a little creeped out.
Him, Sam, and Darwin. Oh, that's great. All right. So actually, no. It's over 70 is is when we're seeing changes in it. So it's going to be cold. The snow will be coming down, so it's going to be difficult going for the refugees. But what do you see yourselves doing over the course of this day?
It's not very good flying weather, is it? Like visibility-wise.
Visibility-wise, flying fine. Seeing, not great.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to be much help scouting for these people.
No, but we could always be here to help protect them.
I suppose that's a sweet thing we could
I
do.
think Lex and Southpaw and Violet are just gonna range around the caravan, maybe range ahead.
Yeah, we could always have a couple of us take duty of just like orbiting slightly above.
Okay. The Griffins certainly prefer flying, as they're much slower on the ground. So,
Violet wants to just scan in the skies with the rest of the group. She can do that.
Okay. So the progress you make today is to about there.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, the heavy snow makes it much more difficult to travel.
That does.
I guess technically it would be like that. Yeah. So you guys are right there. One upside to the day is that in spite of the overcast skies and whatnot, there's nothing else eventful that happens. So you find yourself making camp for your second night. Why doesn't let's see here, Weatherman, give us another. Let me just put something into break up the rolls. You're not going to see it until it happens. Difficult to tell today. So there will be snow, heavy wind. There's a lot of blowing snow today. 84.
The witch seeks us with her power.
Yeah.
I've associated heavy winds with the witch.
Yeah.
And it's like
They're screaming into the void. Ah!
Do they face the howl? Whatever that creepy howl thing, or was that localized? Like
that was localized. Yeah, when you tell them about that, they've heard of such things, but I mean, in legend, the Howl of the North only affected you guys. Did not make its way further down.
Didn't it like stopped as soon as we got to the shoreline, if I recall?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it was all those who have died of exposure and whatnot, and then the sea. So I think it was just limited to the waste of the north. Otherwise, everybody was dead.
So maybe we're actually. Lex mentions, like if the bad weather and magical focus of the White Witch is on us, and we travel with these folks, we're actually probably putting them in more danger than we're helping.
Yeah, so we should probably leave.
You make a good point.
Makes a good point. All right. To Bryn Shander.
I asked the Goliath and Ostin if what they think about that.
I think Osen would say that he recognizes, you have made yourselves foes of the Witch Queen. So it may, but you are champions of the Dale, and though you are the champions, we are all enemies of the Queen of the North. So if she would stand against you, she stands against all of us. You are merely the champions of those of us from the Dale. If we so he feels that and I think that the elk, that you're not wrong that if say the Howl of the North fell upon these people, like that would be quite bad. These people are heartened by the food that you brought them, but I mean they've been on a tough journey after being held captive by the bear tribe, and some of their numbers either murdered or sacrificed. So they're, but what Osen said is not wrong. I mean, these people are hardy people; they would stand with you. So it's up to you.
I think
we're losing time, to be honest.
And there's that too.
Yeah, and if there's a decent day, we could even get to the ruins we found beneath the ice cave. Not the Caves of Hunger, but we can get there in half a day if the weather's good.
That might be an idea. And then,
do we need the sexton to get us back there?
It'll help you get there. Yeah, chance of you getting lost is nil then.
Because my opinion is that I think we should probably ditch this at some point. I have a feeling that we're being spied on.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about before was how convenient it was that Grim, a barely out of training wizard, was able to make off with a pretty substantial artifact in spite of being found with other stuff. Knowing that the Arcane Brotherhood seems to have knowledge of this lost city that nobody else does other than Grim's former master, that seems curious. That
might be some focus for scrying on there or something.
I mean, maybe we could find it and then chuck it.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I mean,
or something.
you guys you may be able to find that. You just need to look for that rift in the side again. And the rest of the party seem to find that on their own. What are you thinking? Are you going to leave it or bury it or?
Yeah, I don't want the Arcane Brotherhood to find it. So let's. I'm trying to think. Maybe it makes sense to throw it someplace where, they might think, "Oh, it's here." Da, 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 and
please do not dispose of that where we dump the black ice. Don't even put it in the water to go downstream. Bury it in rock or something.
Yeah.
We put it in the Cave of Hunger, and that way.
No, we don't want them to do that either, because that's where one of the pathways to the ruin is. We think.
Well, if it's a guide to finding the ruins as well, I don't think it's unreasonable for your character to think there may be a link to those to accessing the fallen city as well too.
Yeah.
Right. So the
what if it's also a key?
That's what I'm trying to get at. Is that like if the sextant may actually be a way when you at the bottom? Remember the very bottom of that inverted tower, there was a platform that seemed to be like a teleport platform.
Yeah. So we might need it for that then. Okay. All right. Well, let's go to the Harpers and figure out what they think, and then because that was our first what we were going to think. But
yeah.
So Bryn Shander.
Hi.
It's gonna be almost a full day's journey.
Well, we're going to want to land outside of the city. We
have to think about how we're going to disguise ourselves a bit, because some of us are persona non grata, I think.
Most of us.
We're not going to just fly in on our griffins and
To take over the town. Ha! Plant my halberd and claim this for Dwarven Valley.
Okay.
Come to our lands, we come to yours.
We'll fly in on our griffins. We'll land on the town speaker's, town center thing, and say, "We hereby claim this on behalf of Neverwinter."
I have a feeling we'll have fireballs and crossbow bolts coming at us real quick.
Yeah.
Fireballs
is a 3rd level spell. You are not thinking big enough.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't experienced higher level spells yet, so that's
This
the Valkyrie's world.
Yeah, the may well be.
Valkyrie thinks that fireballs are like the
Yeah, the worst thing. This is gonna be so terrible. Like, oh
Fireballs, man.
my god, die.
I did eat like 3 of them to the face before, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. From a
And most of my magic is not attack magic, so.
So, what are you thinking, guys? What's the plan? How do you wish to approach the? You're not wrong that it's because Bryn Shander is about in the middle of these hills here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My map up.
On a good day, yeah. We'd get there in time to maybe leave the griffins to the side and walk in, but then it'd be night.
Well,
So
do
they
we want to
shut
leave the griffins on their own? I mean, I know they're not really dumb animals, but we
Well-
can't just sort of like park them up.
Well, maybe we could leave them in the Dwarven Valley, and it's only like a short trip to
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah, we could do that.
And we could ride some rams down there, but I think our rams are with the party here, the refugees.
I mean, I guess I like the idea that if they do have a conflict with the villagers, the 10-towners, the Goliaths could use the griffin mounts to help out.
Didn't we get the scrawny griffins?
We might
Or
have.
will these things actually hold a Goliath?
No, the Griffins will hold a Goliath. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So Bryn Shander is actually about. Oh, hold on.
Here.
Yeah, let me.
Depending on the weather.
There it is. Circle. There we go. Just trying to make a dot. Hold on. Let me get rid of these here. Get out of there. Get out of there. It's about here. It's not far south of. It's a little further south than that. It's closer. Around this hill here. There we go.
Yeah, pretty much a full day's flight.
There we go. It's on the map layer, and I'll create a. Well, so what are you guys thinking? There are 2 different options, at least. For
Yeah, I think taking the griffins down there maybe not the best course, just because having somebody watch them, somebody coming across them, and we can trust the dwarves in the Dwarven Valley.
Yep.
And they might be able to lend us some rams to just ride down there, and half the time it would take us to walk.
What about this little patch, this glade, this small forest here? We'll just leave the griffins to roam in and around the forest,
I was thinking that
It
too.
might be a good idea.
Yeah.
and then we're a short distance to Bryn Shander.
I guess I'm not that worried about the griffins. I mean, they're griffins.
Well,
They'll
me and
fly
Lex are
away.
rangers, so we worry about the animals.
Well, I know.
That's our
No, I'm not even speaking about in character. I mean, even out of character, it's just they don't. They're trained to respond to us. They're not going to let somebody else fly them.
It's true.
Yeah.
We're worried about predators in this magical winter coming.
Yeah.
I might have a spell for this.
Conceal your mounts spell.
Well, more of like a create a circle of privacy in the forest for them.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, Bryn Shander marked on the map now.
Okay.
It's okay. That's our
Right.
level. Ah,
I
Okay.
say we leave them in this still forest, and we'll call it Griffin's Glade, and we'll just.
gotcha. So under my traveler sphere, there's a spell called Circle of Privacy where I can set up at this level 7-hour, pretty much circle that discourages predators and trespassers from disturbing a campsite.
What?
I just got access to this spell. It's a fourth level
Where
spell.
has this been? We've been getting killed at our campsite for our...
It's a fourth level spell. I've had it for 3 sessions.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. And it's actually night below that seems to be way more campsite getting attacked.
Yeah, it's happened here a few times.
A few dozen.
Mm.
So yeah, it'll take my only fourth level spell slot to cast it though, and
So I'm marking some extra towns on here while we're planning here.
appreciate it.
You don't get Axe Storm of Clangadin?
No, I worship a god of archery and hunting, not of stone and berserker rage.
Wasn't the other one like here? That one.
Well, there's actually there's one up there that is tourmaline. There's one right over here. One of the towns is right here. There's one up here. There's 2 over here.
There's
Those are places we've never
over
been.
here as
2
well.
over here. Yeah, Caradinival and Caerkonig are over here.
Surprised they didn't put the towns on this map. I mean,
Well, this is the one that was just this overland travel. Like it's a nice alternative to the other map they have. Has everything on it, including the like adventure locations that you're supposed to discover. So it's like, do you want nothing on your map, or do you want stuff that should be hidden from the players?
or this and this in Photoshop.
Yeah, well, that's this comes from the Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden module from Roll20. So much as I bitched about some of the dynamic lighting in it, it's been fucking awesome.
Oh, this is a gorgeous map too.
Yeah,
Yes,
agreed.
I like it.
Okay, so here's
All right, so
East Haven.
plan, we're leaving this party of folks to travel.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if there's anything in our loot list that we could leave with them to help them in the days to come. We can always come back for it when we
Yep.
get back. See.
Well, presumably now we've dropped off a load of food, they can move faster because presumably they were having to sort of stop and hunt on the way.
Except that hunting is something you can do in the morning and the evening that doesn't cost you any time.
Oh, right.
At least it didn't cost us time. I mean, it might be different then. But
Okay.
so Lex is torn now because we just got back together with Southpaw and now we're going to leave him. So he's like, how do we take my wolf, you friend?
Yeah, that's I'm feeling the same way with the Yeti tyke.
Yeah.
Well, the Yeti tyke you can just stuff in your backpack.
No, he's size he's bigger than a halfling, dude. He's biggish.
Oh,
He's not
He's a half-
he's not a Yeti, but he's a mini Yeti.
And he's got that freezing. Their body
Aura.
absorbs heat. So Falcro, when he's got his
Halberd, yeah.
halberd with him, he's okay. But it would not be. It's like grabbing a chunk of dry ice. Oh, come here.
Yeah, I have to use Endure Cold on myself and my Griffin, and even then, it probably wouldn't tolerate it.
There's no way your Griffin would let
Yeah.
unfortunately the Yeti take on.
well,
That's
it,
my goal eventually. Get them associated with each other.
Southpaw's not going to let Violet pick him up.
No. Also, his digits are mostly ending in sharp bits as well too. So I can't.
Yeah, Wolf and Griffin Claw, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Wolf not riding on Griffin.
And I think the stone wolf is too heavy, we've established, so that's not happening.
Yeah. But I mean, they'll be back in a week's time. The refugees will be in the Dwarven Valley, and you could meet up with them. So let's. So I was distracted by getting a couple of those waypoints set up for you, so you've got some idea. The reason I wanted to put that down is because you talked about going to the Dwarven Valley, and I was reminded that the East Way runs along here.
Yeah.
The trade route that's even in the wintertime is still open during the between Bryn, Shander and the Dwarven Valley.
So what if... Oh, yeah. They're not going to come this way.
Yeah, they're gonna have to cross 2 rivers to do that rather than just the one. And thankfully, Ocean's there to test the ice for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably frozen, though, so that's probably not a big concern.
Which is that?
If the refugees wanted to go towards the East Way. But ultimately they want to get to the Dwarven Valley, so for them, the most direct route probably the best.
Yeah.
But for us, so I think
Well, also,
that's going to.
You're probably going to want them approaching the Dwarven Valley from the north rather than where the
human invaders are.
Yeah.
Is there? I think the way from Shander comes along here, like one of the passes that closes up, and I think they're right in this area here. So
Why don't we fly to the northern end of the Dwarven Valley? We'll let the dwarves know what's coming. That there's refugees coming. They've got some of our dwarven, like with Alehead and the other dwarven rams.
Well, they've known.
These are also strange times. If they, some Rhaegar tribesmen and
them
Goliath
arriving,
on the door?
them arriving at an undetermined time is a totally different thing than they're going to be here within a week. The dwarves could, in theory, send out ram cavalry to meet them. At least a small detachment of them.
That'd be good. What is her name? The druid.
Jellicoe?
Jellicoe.
Yep.
I want to see if I could convince her to take in the Yeti tyke while in my absence. To watch out for it.
Okay. What's your pitch?
Maybe as a favor, I've let her know that we stumbled across this thing in the wilds and the unknown, and I felt an urge to look after it, and I'm greatly relieved that it's still here. And that
these things, it's no pet.
No, it's not a pet.
They're cunning predators.
Indeed, and I worship a god of hunting and archery. I have a close connection with predators. Perhaps in the future I might make something of this Yeti tyke, but
you mean
for
like
now
a belt?
If it comes to that, perhaps, but something more, something useful for the valley.
I
plan on residing here throughout my life after this whole thing settled.
So she sort of nods and just your thinking and your compassion for this creature is unconventional, but you have shown
misplaced.
You've already shown that the unconventional is what might save the Dale. So I will do as you ask.
Okay, and I'll give her some instruction. Basically, his heat draining thing.
Jellicoe says, "I didn't," and shoots it through the head. No.
Well, I wouldn't hold it against her, but
Not Jellicoe. What's his name? Bocho.
Oh, Bocho. Yeah. I would hold it against him. I didn't ask him.
No, she agrees to do that, and she'll make sure that no harm comes to the creature.
I'll give her some pointed, like he likes this kind of meat, and you might want some endure cold before you mess with him, because.
She says, "I intend to not touch the. I will keep the. I will keep it. The members of the caravan from harming him. I'll see that no harm comes from us. But I respect your perspective on this. But I and my people have had long experience with Yeti."
And he'll nod and say, "I kind of have some kind of a weird attachment with asshole creatures," and he scratches his hawk on the forehead.
Yeah, and it's like, "Get off me! Get it!"
Snaps at my finger.
Yeah.
Good thing I got those dwarven gloves on. Clink.
It's like the nastiest junkyard dog in avian form. Get the fuck off of me, jeez. All right. So then, what is the plan then? Do you guys want to stop by the Dwarven Valley to give word? It is going to be fairly. We rolled the weather already, so it's going to be pretty windy today. I think that the Griffins will be able to get 15 miles today because of the wind. Mm-hmm. So do you think that? Or actually, let's do this. Someone give me a D8 roll. There's a possibility that the wind will be at your back. Most definitely not. No, it's kind of on an angle, so your Griffins will get. You'll be able to make 15 miles today. How far, as the Griffin flies, are you guys from
Or a day's journey, I think.
Yeah, so not quite. So you're going to be able to get to about here. You could stop off in Caer Konig. Or Caer Dineval.
The griffins in populated areas.
Yeah, because Caer Dineval... Let me see here. Where is it? Caer Dineval is right in this cove here. So it's all,
exactly 15 miles.
Exactly 15 miles.
So Lex is gonna spend a little time playing with Southpaw, and then sadly, gives it a scratch on the back of the neck, and tells it he's got to go.
Okay.
We can go to KJ.
I'd like to point out that if we do that, we're going to be flying over frozen water again. Just in high wind. You might want to tie yourself in.
I've been doing that every time anyway, I think.
Which of you was tied into the griffin when it went underwater?
That was Lex.
Oh.
That's all right. I'm okay with that. Better than me crashing through the ice and going into the water anyways.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Let me quickly add let's see, can I do this? Easily here?
Well, now that we've got that fancy spell, we can just camp anywhere.
Well, it reduces our encounter rate by like 50%. It doesn't stop it.
Oh, it doesn't. I thought it stopped it.
No. That would be overpowered. I can't ambush them? That's bullshit. No.
And not ambush them at night. You can ambush them while they're traveling.
Not like a pocket plane, a camping spot.
It's not a magnificent mansion.
Do that, you pocket plane and bring a bag of holding, and all of a sudden, hey, it's Astral Adventures now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that ring you guys still haven't played with. So where are you thinking of going? Are you going to get to...
Why does the dwarf have all the rings?
Good question. Do you want to stay in Caer Dineval, or do you want to camp out overnight?
Caer Dineval. Let's do it.
Caer Dineval,
Yeah.
you got it.
That's we got some good
We used to have some good rapport there.
rapport because we stopped the pirates.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Also,
Grim's first time. He doesn't know what this place is like.
Well, but also they didn't really like us too, right? Remember? Because we stopped the pirates, but we also killed a bunch of the people that lived there.
Well, we did cure them from the black ice, so
right.
Well, the other option was to euthanize them. So
some of the fishermen who were from that village who'd become pirates got killed, and so there was kind of some mixed feelings, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but true. But some of those pirates had then killed people from Bryn Shander, from Caer Dineval.
We'll know when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to sleep on a bed, so that sounds good.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, so
Grim and South Girl sleeping on the bed.
okay, there we go, guys. And put this to... Wait, the map's getting populated as hell today. Boom.
We should go somewhere else on the map, just so Kev has...
Yes, the whole session is me doing cartography.
Back to Evermelt.
See you in 2 weeks, everybody. Okay, so then, yeah, so you guys will make your way to Caer Dineval, which means we can make use of not only this sucker here, guys. These are our map of Caer Dineval, which is pretty cool.
Look at all that information.
Yeah. You can ignore all that information for the most part. Actually, let me erase it. I don't want to get you guys. So what is in there?
We already did that quest.
Well, no, we actually, I don't think that there's no quest information in there. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, is that ever neat? Okay, so they've separated it into the GM notes that are only visible to me and the stuff you guys can see.
So auto notes for the players.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Thumbs up, Roll20. That's cool. Yeah, okay, never mind. I'm going to say that. You guys can't see most of the stuff that I can. Awesome. And let me tell you guys, the stuff I can see, holy shit. It's so awesome.
They get 2 stars of friendliness. That's okay.
What about the Black Swords quest? Let's do that.
I think that's a pirate quest.
I think that's what we did, wasn't it?
Pirate Quest is actually something I came up with. So, I mean, there's a reference to pirates in the what do you call it? In the Legacy of Crystal Shard, but I made some substantial changes. Well, by which I mean I wrote the whole thing. Yeah, I'm like, let's be honest. There are pirates, but I changed everything about it. So, available quest, Black Swords, pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, then the other thing I wanted to show you guys was here. No.
All right, speaker. Who are the Black Swords and what's going on?
Yeah, it was this guy. Look at this. That's Caer Konig. It's pretty amazing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, the art in Frostmaiden, Legacy of the Frostmaiden. Legacy of Frostmaiden? I'm just making up names of stuff now.
The Frostwind Dale.
Yeah, Frostwind Dale.
Rhyme of the Legacy Maiden. Legacy of the
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, can you tell it's almost time for the mid-session break? So as you guys arrive, let's see if anything interesting has happened. Let's give me a percentile roll, please. Somebody.
Okay.
All right.
Blame it on the mage.
I wonder if I've got...
I mean, you could probably bring Southpaw with you if you had one of those harness things, you know.
Cola, can you make a harness that we can strap to the belly of my griffin that will carry the wolf across the land at super high speed? I'm sure he'll be happy.
I was thinking we could almost bring the stone wolf, you know, sling it under a couple of them like they do with helicopters. And
like helicopters. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
so what we
griffins
really
can't
need
hover.
is we've got the griffins for the fighters. We need the equivalent of a C-130. So
Yeah,
can we get a rock?
exactly.
Just put the
This is
dragon
the
wings
dragon
on
will
the
be-
wolf.
Actually, Grim, if you just told your wolf to follow Southpaw as a last command, I'm kind of thinking Southpaw was sent by my god and might just eventually seek me out.
Good idea.
It's not a bad idea, actually. Although I think for the way my circlet works, well, I guess if I give it I can't give it commands, but it can keep following the command. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so if you tell it to follow Southpaw and Southpaw wanders away from the group, they might end up together finding us at some point.
Well, maybe next time when we start going the opposite direction, we'll try that out.
So, as you guys approach Caer de Naval, we got an interesting result from what's happened in the past month. I'm just trying to see. There you go. All right, so you're flying down into Caer de Naval, and what you notice, so the town is not really that big, right? And it's fairly, it's basically one road that has some houses and such that are set along it. Let's go to that map. Where is it here? Caer de Naval. Yeah. What you find is that there are, as you're approaching, there are armed guards, some of which you may recognize as former pirates, that are sort of see you guys. Where would you think that you would land with your griffins? Just down by the docks or out near the Caer?
I thought we'd land a little ways out, right? Like,
Maybe a couple 100 yards.
Okay.
yeah.
Just to be as non-threatening as possible.
So approaching from the direction from Caer Konig or from the east way?
Yeah, I think from Kirkonik, because we wouldn't want to go through the whole town to get to the boss.
Okay, so what you see is as you're approaching you land the griffins and then sort of like trot along the road with them as if they were regular like horses or some other kind of ground mount. And as you guys approach, there's a small collection of armed guards that come running over, and they all seem to be setting up defensive positions, and it looks like there's actually a bit of a like an impromptu kind of battlement that's been set up too, like carts that have been set up, and they've got their weapons up, and then one of them says, "Wait, they're not dwarves."
You ever seen dwarves and griffins?
And so someone steps forward and says, "Well, we've seen many things that we didn't." The look on their face tells you that they're in absolutely no mood for jokes. They stop, and one of them looks at you and says, "You," and you recognize him as one of the former pirates. And it seems to be more recovered now. He's gaining some weight back. He's still got a bit of that hollow, quality, very thin, sunken in cheeks kind of stuff. But his hair is growing back in kind of a patchy beard. His beard is growing back in. His hair is sort of tied back. And he says, You were friends with the dwarves. You're the one that brought them here."
There are dwarves here?
"Not right now."
I look at the other party members. I'm like,
We came for a night's rest in the inn instead of sleeping out in the wilderness. We have no idea what you're talking about.
You would bring those damn dwarves down on us and now think you can just come and rest in our halls? This is someone else who says this from behind. And you've recognized some of these people because it's not a big town. You sort of met a lot of the people when you guys were all hanging out at the uphill climb.
I'd say we brought no dwarves. We've been gone for a month up in the northern reaches. What has happened?
And I think I remember the name of the proprietor of the...
Oh, would you guys think it's the refugee, the dwarves that were overthrown?
Yeah, the Hammerstones that got overthrown.
The Hammerstones, yeah.
Oh, these guys.
Cole, your family is pissing us off.
I'm pretty sure he ended that line.
So what I think what steps forward, hold on, I don't have the name in the other, give me 2 seconds here, guys. Go into the legacy. Here we go, Curtin Naval. Rourke was the guy who's the proprietor of the uphill climb. So he says, what you see is he sort of comes on the scene, like middle-aged, sort of pushing into his elderly years, proprietor of the uphill climb. And he says, wait. He says, you know nothing of this?
No. We've been in the sea of shifting ice, and just recently came back.
And with new pets, I see. He's looking back and forth at the griffins, and they kind of rock, shake.
Yeah.
And then...
No, sorry then.
Is Kranich still speaker?
Is who?
Speak to him. Kranich? Wasn't it Kranich?
In Cardinaval?
Yeah, Kranich Seaver.
He's the speaker that we were dealing with?
I mean, he was a little bit ill when we were here last. So.
Well, that's because we took black ice off him and he was...
Yeah.
Oh, Dinner's Rest is the tavern. Uphill Climb... Or is the inn. Uphill Climb is the tavern. And... Speaker, 1 second here.
It says on our handout it's kind of...
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I'm just trying to find where I got that from. If it's from the Legacy of the Crystal Shard. Yeah, Kranich Curio, Kranich Seaver. Right. So Seaver is, and you may remember him. He was a kind of a tough old guy. He's dead.
Oh no!
Murdered
Murdered?
by dwarves.
By whom? By
Dwarven
dwarves.
axes.
Damn dwarves.
So he sees sort of your reaction as well too. And he says, "Let them pass. He says, we can't keep those things." And he gestures at the in the stables. You'll have to find a way to store them if you wish to come in.
I'll walk in. I'll just get off Violet and give her a signal to go fly.
Okay, so she takes off with the rest of you guys.
I'll follow. I'll do the same.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're all off, and you're led.
She's a ways away.
Yeah, he says, "Let's come." So we'll talk of what's to come. You can feel the hard looks of many of the people, and it probably is, like you said, it was a mixed, a mixed impression, I guess, that you left when you guys last were here. But they're definitely. This is not the community that you left. So,
Yeah.
as
You guys all wearing dwarven armor?
Gotta take my helmet off and hold it in the side.
Strap that to your saddle before you let your griffin fly away.
I am not getting out of my dwarven armor.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys are making your way towards the uphill climb, followed by a party or a small group of armed villagers, let's take our mid-session break, and then we'll come back and see what's been going on in Cara Naval.
Nice.
Okay. So for those listening, we'll check in with chat when we get back as well. Back momentarily, folks.
I'm still going on to Redbubble, and there's a shirt that I've been thinking about. It says, "I'm not procrastinating. I'm doing side quests." So,
Nice.
I don't want to be killing dwarves again. That was traumatic to start with. And hammerstones.
All right, let's quickly say hi to chat here. Fred, what's going on? Welcome to the weekend. Old school, back at you as well. Good morning to you. Morning, Daiku. Fred Gomez, hello. Welcome. And Jeffrey, yes, a good warning, a danger to the multiverse indeed. Alrighty. So, we're just waiting for Mo to get back. Okay. So, it's been some trouble here, I guess.
Yeah, the hammerstones.
Damn hammerstones.
No. Didn't Lex take out Barrick with that one last shot of his arrow?
I don't know what episode that was, but that was pretty epic.
The whole party was down, and it was just Lex and his arrows.
Yeah, that fight was no joke for you guys. Holy smokes.
Lex ran out of arrows. He was picking arrows out of bodies. And
Yeah, I thought that was,
scampering around.
that was great. Hammerstones.
Okay.
I think you were done with the dwarves, but no. I don't know where they could be at. Maybe they might be up in some caves up in these hills.
You're already thinking of taking the fight to them?
Yeah. I don't want to kill any more dwarves, but if they're causing havoc, then it is kind of our fault they got kicked out of the valley.
Okay.
Or we could go back to Dwarven Valley and let the king know and see what justice he recommends instead of taking it into our own hands. That's probably the best option.
Okay. So we're all back here. So our scene will cut to you guys sitting at the uphill climb. And as a reminder, the uphill climb has that it's so called because it's right at the top of the hill and has a beautiful view of Lac de Nashir. But this seems much less. I mean, the last time you guys were here and in this room, it was quite grim as well. The former speaker has actually seems that someone else has taken over. And the new speaker is 1 second here.
Well, Grillhawk, Bryn. You got promoted.
Yeah, Chronic is dead, then that means I think the one who is acting will be the owner of the uphill I think the uphill climb for now. And that is Rourke. So what Rourke tells you is, and like he's got the speaker's kind of pin on him, and there's a couple of other like members of this impromptu militia that are with him too. And what he tells you that over the last about month and a half, there were for about 6 months now, we've seen there's been people sort of seemingly skulking around. People chalked it up at first to being crag cats, and then they sort of just, someone in town was being, a bit of a snoop. And of course they want to blame people from Caer Konig as well for this. But after you guys had left, and after the hubbub with the pirates was over, they caught a dwarf. Not like actually physically caught him, but they spotted and thwarted a dwarf who seemed to be trying to break into one of the homes. This was strange, and the dwarf made his escape. It was a vicious fighter, and was strangely had his entire face concealed underneath a mask. And this wasn't, it was weird, but I mean, with what had gone on in the valley, they sort of took that in stride. But about a week later, in the middle of the night, there was a brutal assault on the care. There was magic that was used, which was unusual for dwarves. You guys would know this, not they wouldn't necessarily know that. And it seemed to be a targeted raid. The speaker was killed, and things were raided, and they made off with something. And you can tell that he's not really keen on sharing there's some other information that he's got, and he just seems like he's reluctant, in the course of your conversation, to go to it. But you think there may be more to what was taken. He may know more about that. And he says the only thing that was recovered is one of the dwarves left behind. They left this buried in the skull of one of the speaker's guards, and puts it down on the table. And does anyone have ancient history as a proficiency?
Grim.
Yeah, go ahead, Grim. Excellent. So you look at this, you sort of like, leap forward and kind of grab this thing from across the table, and you're taking a look at it, and they're not wrong. It's definitely of dwarven make, but there's something really unusual about it. Oh, you're muted, Brandon. Everyone have a drink.
Does it look like the delving staff? Like it might be made from the same people that made the delving staff?
It's possible. Who made the delving staff? Did we know?
That was Dwergar make.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
These aren't the dwarves you're used to. These are the Dwergar. The likes of it.
The speaker, or the new speaker, sort of, looks a little confused. What do you mean?
Dwergar, that's nasty buggers. Yeah, they live in the Underdark. Grey skin. That's why they were concealing themselves.
These are not the same. They don't live in the valley?
Oh, no. No, they live far beneath the earth.
So he looks confused. What? They live beneath the earth, and they've come here?
I don't know. Well, it depends. They must have had something that they wanted. Or something's driving them out, I don't know.
And he sighs. We told you that you had all of the black ice that the village had. That was not accurate.
So they took some black ice.
All that had been stockpiled was kept in the care.
How much are we talking about?
12 blades.
Jeez.
Since that attack, we've been keeping watch. We have not seen them since, but...
Do you know in which direction they fled to?
They fled to the hills and disappeared there.
To the west?
Yes. Sorry, no, to the north.
To the north, okay.
North. Okay.
What else do you know about these dark dwarves, these underground dwarves, there, Bryn?
So you would
I
know.
don't know. What else do I know?
With a roll that good, I think that you're aware that there was in the same way that there was a schism between the elves of the surface and the elves of the Underdark. There was a similar thing spoken of in the sort of in the annals of dwarven history. Dwarves are sort of notoriously insular people anyway, so getting more out of them from that. The knowledge of the Underdark, the players know a shit ton about the Underdark, just because it's a popular place in that, but the inhabitants, your characters, would know very, very, very little of it. It's a place that's completely, hostile to people who are coming from the surface. So they're sort of like a boogeyman type thing that the Drow are dark elves have the awareness of them in the Icewind Dale is highlighted because of Drow's place as a hero of the Icewind Dale for 100 years. The Dvergar are sort of an afterthought. You know that they've never been known to be up here. But, the Underdark, it's one of those things where whatever's going on down there, and whatever empires or whatever might be below, or civilizations might be below, they don't respect the borders of the surface world, and they certainly don't, they don't have to deal with the same conditions. Traveling north in the Underdark doesn't make it colder.
Yeah.
Right. So
we need to get into the night below and
We gotta go.
Kev's like, screw those guys on Wednesdays and Fridays. They never go back to the night below. I'm starting the campaign off in the north, in the Icewind Dale.
So cold we have to.
So they would be up. So I mean, they are not they're a very, very hostile civilization.
Yeah.
They are seen as by the surface as and by dwarves as evil and corrupt and devil worshippers and all sorts of awful shit.
With a role like that, would I know of any of what I know as a player is some of their special abilities?
I think that you would know that in myth, they are they're sort of thought of as cursed dwarves, not only because they're they live below the earth and they've got different they look different. You would know that, like a lot of creatures that are cast the night below, they've got bizarre powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know necessarily what.
I'm not sure you would know. Yeah, because they're a fair. If you spoke to a dwarven, access a dwarven resource, maybe you would learn more.
Sure.
But yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of the dwarves, though, with that information, Lex is like, I think the dwarves would want to know about these dark dwarves with black ice weapons now.
I think they would.
Well,
could we send Bastard back to carry a message?
We could.
Well, we're gonna be there. We're gonna fly up there, aren't we? So.
Oh, I see. We could just.
We'll tell them when we get there.
Yeah.
So, and if you thought that the strife between the Hammerstones and the Silverstreams, or the rest of the valley, was intense, that would be a pale comparison to the wars that were fought between the Shield Dwarves, the Gold Dwarves, and the Dvergar.
Should we make an attempt to locate where they might have ducked away to before we go to the Dwarven Valley?
Even you flew here through a full day of heavy snow, and the day before that was snow as well too.
Good tracker, Falkroll, but I doubt that we'll be able to track them through the snow.
I think it's a fool's errand, to be honest.
And if they only came, it sounds like they came for the black ice and nothing more.
Yeah, they probably won't be back.
Well,
If they do come back, it will be.
We don't know that, but
Yeah.
really,
Well, it does sound like.
if their hatred for dwarves is probably worse than it is for anything else,
Yeah.
you may be a target here, but there's a whole valley full of targets they're probably higher priority. Sorry, Mo, go ahead.
Well, it does sound like that maybe the Duergar are another arm of the White Witch's sort of like allies.
So
Well,
hold on, let's just examine that.
Is.
What other allies do you think? So you guys have explored, not to recanvas, but you have talked about the possibility of whether the Arcane Brotherhood is allied with her, or they're just an independent thing.
Well, yeah, or they,
Right. So
there's all sorts of things that are going on in the world that are independent of the White Witch that are still bad. So we don't have to.
I think.
well, there was
like
someone that
lots
was into black ice and corrupting the dwarves.
But we don't know if that was the White Witch or if that was the Luskins and the Brotherhood.
Yeah, or but it could be the same player that was behind the Luskan support for the Usurper.
The Dwergers just sound so exotic of an issue.
Yeah.
But we know, but they're black ice related, so they've come for the black ice. So whoever
Black
was
we don't have
was
a
behind.
connection we don't have a connection for the Black Ice to the White Witch. We just know that it happened at the same time.
The Black Ice wasn't the. I thought we knew that the Black Ice isn't some remnant of the Crystal Spire or something like that.
the when Cryshel Tirith fell, it said that this was the remnants of it.
Yeah.
Though it appears that like there's some of those that seemed to be one source of it, but like the berserkers that were part of the Bear tribe, I mean, they're way far out there. So where the heck does that come from?
Yeah.
Because they were all wielding black ice weapons as well.
Yeah.
And I thought they were definitely aligned with the White Witch, weren't
they
they?
were.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they're related, but maybe it just could be something she's using to make it easier to control people.
Could be.
Potentially. So maybe Tom's right. Maybe she's somehow trying to influence other factions, other parties to cause havoc to make it easier for her to gain her power. Or
Might be.
the longer people are divided and facing off against the Arcane Brotherhood or the Luskins or the 10 towns fighting amongst themselves with the Dwarven Valley, as long as there's turmoil, she can build up her strength in the north.
Yeah. I still think that our best bet is get these Netherese ruins and take care of her, but and address Duergar, whatever else afterwards, unless we know more.
So you think go to the ruins rather than try and track down these Duergar?
Oh, I think we have to. If we cut off the head of the snake right away, it's.
Yeah, we've just spent quite some weeks banging our head against the head of the snake and not had so much success.
Well, that's why we need more. Yeah.
Maybe a slightly smaller snake. This
Oh,
time,
did you say
but-
cut the head off? I'm sorry, I thought you said butt the head off. Jeez.
I say we warn the dwarves and then go find some
I
other
agree.
Yeah.
ruins.
Yeah, I think good plan.
Okay.
And we'll tell the speaker, or we'll tell Rourke that we know that it's not the dwarves of the Dwarven Valley. They've got their own problems, and we'll warn them of these dark dwarves. You folks take care of yourselves and protect yourselves.
Wait. You're going to tell the dwarves about this?
Yeah.
The dwarves and dwarven, they're going to have a seething hatred for these Duergar.
One of the militia members says, well, what if they ally with them?
They would never.
They're not going to do. They're not going to do that.
Would you ally with the White Witch?
And he snaps his head towards you. No, of course not.
Well, that's the equivalent of the dwarves and the Duergar.
That seems to give him pause for thought. You get the sense that these people are just,
Simple.
yeah, like they've gone through this whole community has gone through some pretty awful shit to start with, and this is just more awful things going on, right? So they're just angry and looking for some outlet to put that into.
Do they use do they use arrows? Are there any archers in the?
There probably are, yeah, because I mean, they would have hunters among here too. Some of the people who live here are descendants of ragged tribes, but you know, if you were to Tom, Store is more the actual soldier type, but I mean, Tom, you got an eye for at least some eye for quality of troops, and these guys, like, this is, it would not take much to see them collapse, particularly if these the militia that's trying to put up a fight here, if they face some of, say, the Thane's troops with their proper armor and whatnot, like, they'd get annihilated.
For a gesture, Lex will go into his quiver and he'll fish out 10 silvered arrows, and he'll pass them over the table to Rourke. Say, it's not much. It may help your people in their defenses. Silver tipped. So don't just shoot them at anything.
You think these would be more effective against the dwarves, then? The militia member kind of gets forward and takes a look at this. If it's going to be effective against the dwarves, he's definitely interested in it.
I don't know. But for Lex, it was, to show them that we're allies.
Sure. I don't think that's... It's the same difficult position, these are very traumatized people. The fact that you don't have a clear answer, knowing that it's them, is both helpful, but you can imagine that's going to cause some, I wouldn't want to be the first dwarf to show up in Caer Dineval after this.
Yeah. Well, that end, so not knowing is crazy, fearful, and causes all kinds of anxiety. But now that they know what this is, and it's some sort of mystical evil dwarf, that's not much better.
Well, and that comes from beneath the earth, and that what Grimm says is they can come up anywhere. That's what they're hearing from it, and that's got to be terrifying. That this, you never know what could be coming out of the woods, and they're perfectly able to see in the dark as well, too.
Well, now the black ice is gone, they have less reason to come here. Tainted things call the tainted things.
Rourke sort of nods his head and he says, "These are sins we committed, and that we have paid for." Then, if there's nothing else, you guys are free to stay with the tavern, Diver's Tavern, or Dinev Tavern, down the way. I think it's Dinev's Rest. That's what it's called. They'll put you up there for the night, and then if you are, as you say, intent on traveling on, it may be best if you do so tomorrow. We will let our folk know what you have shared with us.
We'll speak to the dwarves in the valley, and I'm sure when things settle in that area, they'd likely want to find the source of these Dwargar and remove them from their lands, your lands.
Okay. So then you guys, Dave, why don't you give us a weatherman? See what the travel's going to be like tomorrow. Do you want to check our weather sense before?
No, not going to bother, because we're heading out regardless.
Yeah, heading out anyway. You're stuck traveling? Okay. Okay, so definitely snowfall. There is definitely wind, but I don't know if it's as bad. Yeah, moderate wind, so not as bad as it was the day before. Snowfall is going to be medium again, and no change in... I don't think there's a change in temperature. Let's see here.
How much more winter is there? Besides endless.
Yeah,
it's endless.
Yeah. Until you defeat the
White Witch.
Yeah, the White Witch. There ain't any.
Yes.
Okay.
Then we might actually get summer, and you're gonna have to get a new source book for how nasty heat situations in the tundra.
Crack out the old Dark Sun.
No, we also start having heat. Yeah, we start having heat stroke.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. It's only over 70. Okay. So then, the next day, guys, you guys will certainly be able to make it to the Dwarven Valley. And I think, what's the distance you're traveling? Is it only 7 miles? Look at that. Getting the eye for it now. So with 7 miles, that means it's going to be mid-morning when you guys arrive.
All right.
And you can picture that you guys sort of travel, over the lip of the Dwarven Valley, and then you're able to sort of, zoom down, plunge down into it, and then arrive once again at the gates. All 4 of you guys flying in on Griffinback. Who is it that you want to meet with? Do you want to meet with the Thane?
If he has time. I mean, he's the one we should be telling what's going on. Unless he has somebody he's delegated.
If you say,
well, we could.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Mo.
I was going to say we could talk to Adric or the merchant whose name I've forgotten.
Sure. Adric would be more... You'd probably get access to him. So there's...
Rubia?
Yeah.
Von Bin, yeah. So...
Yes.
There's
Von Bin.
Adric
Von Bin,
and
yes.
Von Bin.
Von Bin is his go-to guy.
Yeah, and Von Bin has sort of been acting as a seneschal for the king since you guys deposed the Hammerstones.
Yeah.
So who would you like to see first? You can access... Adric is probably the easiest, because he's just, in his temple. Von Bin would be next easiest, because he's not the king, and then... Or not the Dane, at least. And then Dane Silverstream would be the most challenging one to access.
Adric might have some good insights on the Dwargar. Worshipping the god of secrets and whatnot.
Okay.
Well, maybe go see him first.
Sure. So, you guys stable your griffins in the same place they were before. We cut to you guys arriving at the temple on the east side of the valley. Actually, you would have to fly over there because it's or west side of the valley. Remember, it's the other opposite side from where... Well, no, you guys already retaken the west side. That's so everyone is inhabiting there. So what you see as you sort of join is there's a bunch of hooded dwarves who are acolytes here. Seems like that there's more life is returning more to normal in here, and it's in that that open area where you meet with one of the acolytes, and you guys are waiting for the. Waiting for Adric to return. In your mind's eye, you can remember the hordes of undead that you faced here, not so long ago. They've done an incredible job of sort of restoring everything. And that's when, Adric comes walking over, and he says, back so soon, my friends.
Yes, griffins make travel incredibly quick in this valley, in this area.
Indeed. He shakes your hand, Falcarol. You're the first of these outsiders that he met.
Yeah, looks around and says the temple's looking much improved.
Life is as much as it can return. Dwarves are deathly allergic to idleness. So, but it seems that you've been quite industrious yourself as well. What brings you back here? What can I help with?
Well, we traveled out about a day's flight to the east, and we located the refugees. That was about 2 nights ago, and they would be arriving within the week.
They're safe?
For the most part, yes. There were a few predators that picked off some of them.
I've heard tell that things are dangerous out in the wastes. But good. I know that Dane Silverstream has been eager to welcome them into the valley.
We will go see Von Bin shortly, but we were coming to you because we stopped and nighted over at Caer-Dineval, a town we helped pirate problem with some black ice. He kind of spits to the side when he says black ice. Unfortunately, we learned some news that they had hoarded a few weapons of black ice and were raided by Dwargar in the night.
What?
Gray-faced dwarves that had some strange magics.
Surely they're mistaken.
They thought they were dwarves, so...
Well,
do we have a copy of the axe, or?
Oh, I would assumed we took that.
Okay, so he took it and he takes a look.
At first thought it might have been the remains of the Hammerstone followers, but
Well, and he looks over. I think Grim, you're the one with the Delver staff, right?
Yeah.
And he gestures. He says, "Just because the attackers had Dvergar or weapons that seem to be a Dvergar make," and he gestures over to the staff. Does that make this one a Dvergar? If so, she looks very different.
I wouldn't mistake Grim for a dwarf.
Yeah.
No, but
They were commanding magic too, and that seems to align with what I know about the Dwergar.
Did you learn anything further?
Well, we know they went off to the hills to the north and disappeared. So it's been a few days of snow, so tracking them was not possible. We do know that they had scouted out the town beforehand and were driven off like one of them and tried to break in. So
what do you know of the deep dwarves?
I know that they're nasty buggers. You don't like them very much. You.
All of that is true. But they also... they have been known to work as mercenaries. They are hungry for blood in service to the Dark Masters to whom they worship. And they're a cursed goddess. Or god, Ladiger. You saw they only raided just for the Black Ice?
So far, seems to be...
How did they know?
That's a good
Well,
question.
presumably their employer presumably may have tipped them off, if they are mercenaries. Which is,
I'm not sure. I assume that tainted things called it tainted things.
It's possible. But you did not see them?
No.
Just the paranoia and fear on the faces of the town we helped protect.
They said they had their faces concealed.
Yeah.
When they attacked.
Really?
Yes.
So, did they see any of them unconcealed or any sort of gestures to the axe? Is this the extent of the proof that the deep dwarves are behind this?
That and the magic, I guess.
The magic that you of which you speak, did they see them working invocations or... and as far as you know, they didn't. They came in the night. They didn't have any torches. There was magic that was apparently used, but I'm not sure that they would have known whether it was magical items or divine magic, because Ladiger answers his priests just like the other gods do.
Yeah, we don't really know.
Then he hands the axe back to Grim. For your collection, you seem to be have an eye for the work of the deep dwarves, and I would not welcome that into my collection. I would take care to not have that seen. Those in the shield dwarves can tell the mark of the deep dwarves.
Falcor will say, Adric, if these are deep dwarves, what do you know about them that we should be aware of so that they do not catch us off guard?
Very little I can share. They are said to be granted foul enchantments beyond the scope of what dwarves, those of the surface, can. Whether that is the twisted work of those living in those damned places below, or if it is simply the blessings of their dark god. They are able to... it is not surprising that if it is Dvergar, that the deep dwarves were able to remain hidden. They can vanish magically. They also have the ability to bring themselves to the size of... and she gestures to whoever the tallest among, I think Tom, they can grow to match the size of even the burliest human. Yeah. So, those gifts, the ability to vanish, Latiger is, unlike ours, the Keeper of Secrets, they are devotees of murder and carnage.
Assassins.
Indeed.
Well, we'll have to rely on our other senses to protect us. Hopefully we never come across them, but...
Pray you don't. Though, I suspect that Grim would enjoy adding to his collections.
I don't know, axes aren't really my style.
Sure we can teach you how to throw them.
Yeah, it might be.
Was that all that you wished of me?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a caravan coming in here about a week.
Well, about 5 days now.
5 days.
To the temple?
To the northern part of the valley.
Oh, that, I think, would be a concern of the Dane and his folk.
We're going to see Von Bin shortly, I think, once we can get a moment of his time.
I hear he has been a busy one.
I imagine. These the humans giving you guys any more trouble than usual? I know you're on the west side here where you might come into contact with them more often.
My focus has been restoring the temple and ensuring that the collection has remained intact. Our archives are, of course, important.
Speaking of your archives, within the secrets and lore that you keep, do you have much knowledge of the Netherese?
Other than what we shared previously, no. I didn't recognize the... you may remember that he didn't even recognize that what the Netherese stuff was until you had your swords and whatnot to compare it to. And then he said, oh, that's the thing that was stolen.
Yeah, that's right.
So apart from that, it was like, this is how secretive this city was. Is that like there were some artifacts that would trickle in, but no one really made the connection with it until very, very recently. Even Adric and his fellow members of the cult of what's his name? They didn't recognize it as being Netherese until you guys told him that you had swords and whatnot with similar markings that were Netherese. So, anything else you wish of Adric?
No, I think that's all we needed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then we will head over to Von Bin, I guess will be the next person you'll see. So Von Bin is met in... he meets you in part of his home. You may remember that one of the homes, I think it was Von Bin or one of the other merchants, has turned their home over to sort of the place where Dane has been living, or Stokely Silverstream has been living. They still haven't got to the point where they restored the main chamber where Barrack was ruling and where Dane Stokely Silverstream used to. Where Von Bin meets you is in one of his studies. He makes you wait for quite a bit, and it's a very opulently displayed, opulently sort of adorned thing. And then finally, after making you wait for probably about half an hour, the door sweeps open and he comes in. And Von Bin always definitely carried himself like a man or a dwarf of importance. He seems to have ratcheted that up just a little bit more, too. There's a little bit more accoutrements and clear displays of wealth, which is not uncommon with the dwarves. But he walks in and he says, "So, you return back to the valley once again, and I hear that you have brought good news of your friends."
It travels fast.
Well, good news at least. Finally some good news.
Yes, we met the refugees about 2 days back, and they were a week away from arriving, so they should arrive within the next 4 to 5 days. And they'll be coming at the northern part of the valley.
I will let the Dane know. I suspect he will want to welcome them properly. That's good news then. They're safe?
For the most part. A few predators, but those are the way of the wilds.
Indeed. So I hear.
There'll be some Goliaths coming along with them. There is a Ostin. He is a werebear, in case that would surprise you. But he's of the Rhaegar tribe.
Wait,
and
he is... You mean a lycanthrope?
He is, yes.
And
he's good. He's good. He's good people, though. Don't worry about it.
Is he infectious?
I would assume that all lycanthropes are infectious. I couldn't tell you one way or the other, but he is not like the rabid lycanthropes that we fear. He's honorable.
Yes.
He's fought with us against the minions of the White Witch to help restore order in the north.
And he protects the refugees as they move.
Then, if you speak well of him, then I expect that the Dane will accept that as well. Another protector and another champion for your people, for the elk, and for the valley would be welcome in these times.
Indeed.
Then
he was there when we slayed the avatar of the White Witch at Evermelt.
Oh, so truly a champion then.
Isn't he the son of the elk
Bear tribe?
Bear tribe? Yeah. So
wait, he is
sure
he was made outcast by the Bear tribe and joined us to fight against them and to rescue his people.
Huh. It's fascinating what the circumstances have brought you all together. Good. Then, is that the extent then?
You might have a Dwergar problem in the valley. We mentioned this to the scholar.
Right out with it.
Rumors at this point.
He sort of stops dead.
Okay.
What?
Grim.
All right. Well, we have some reason to believe that there might be some Dwergar who raided the Cardenerval for some black ice. They've described some dwarves in the area.
What do you know of our deep brothers? And the way he spits it out, it is with as much venom and hatred as you've ever seen.
Yeah, but they're bastards, and sometimes they work as mercenaries. And they have magical foul gifts from there. That's we've heard that they sometimes work as mercenaries. So,
unless they... What other things that they may have that make them different from, so different and fallen from us, the true dwarves? They are loyal to themselves and their people and their god. But they... mercenaries?
Yeah. It was a theory that somebody...
Was it Adric told us?
Your information may be mistaken.
All right.
You are... Tell me everything you know. And his sort of breeziness about everything else, I'm like, oh yeah, let's chat about this, that sounds good, blah, blah, blah. The air's on, completely gone, and he is razor focused on what you're telling him right now.
All right.
So he wants to hear... We don't need to go through that again in role-playing, but...
yeah, we can just repeat the whole...
Yeah, so he asks for and he presses you on every point and returns to it again to press you on it again. He studies the thing, and the way he looks at the axe and the way he treats it is like the way it's as if like he thought it would get him, like it would somehow like taint him. The way that you guys seem to react to stuff, like he takes it from you and then just sets it down as fast as he can on the desk and stares at it. And the whole time he's having this conversation, he doesn't really take his eyes off of it. So once you complete telling him everything that you've told him, he says, then none saw them. None can confirm what they are.
No.
The only thing that I recall was that they drove off one of them during an attempted break-in, and I think that's the closest they came to actually seeing them directly.
None of them saw them, and they
Not
would
there.
know if they saw one of our deep brothers,
No.
skin like ash, eyes white, hair sickly yellow. None of this they saw.
No. They said they were concealed. They wore cloaks and the like.
And they are human, so their eyes are not well adapted to the dark.
And the deep brothers can conceal themselves as well. And you could not track where they went.
2 days of heavy snow would prevent most tracking. But we know they went to the hills north of the town. That's where they fled to.
Not far from the valley.
If they have come, and if they our deep brothers do not move as mercenaries. Where the dwarves, the true dwarves, build and defend their homes. The deep ones are conquerors. If this is the deep brothers, and he looks down at the axe, this is a declaration of war.
Have black ice.
Black ice, you say?
Yes, that the Caradinevol had about a dozen weapons of black ice that were raided and stolen.
They come in search of black.
Like the Hammerstones had used.
They
Had been
could
been
find it.
using them.
They knew where it was.
Somehow or another.
Oh no.
Is there a relation between them and the black ice that we should know of?
Only that they seek power, and clang it and preserve us. No, and he gets up from his desk and sort of runs away. The affectation he had with his cane is gone, and he shouts out for his aid, and he says, "Bring me a guard to the vaults, to the vaults."
Uh-oh. We should follow, guys.
We follow.
Yeah.
Lex follows.
So you
Let's
guys
grab
all
an
follow along, and you can see as he's going along, he keeps shouting, and like more and more dwarven soldiers dressed in armor are joining him. And where he brings you, if you guys are following along, he demands a sword as well too. And this is a guy who didn't even take up arms when you guys were fighting the Hammerstones. He leads you down, and you realize very quickly that this is a place you've gone before. You know where he's going. It's the vault where you sealed all of the black ice that was seized from the Hammerstones.
We should have found a way to destroy that shit.
We tried. We couldn't.
So,
We don't have
as
a mountain dune to throw it into.
yeah, and another thing, and another one. So it takes like an entire team of dwarven engineers to get the doors open to the vaults once you guys finally reach this place. And you may remember that the vaults where they sealed this is way deep down in the depths of the valley that you guys plumbed, those abandoned places that were overrun with monsters and whatever else. After several hours of work, the vault is opened, and what you guys see in there, I think probably renders most of you silent, because it is empty, apart from an enormous hole dug into the side of one of the walls inside the vault.
Gods damn it! I shout out.
Yes.
Echoes.
Okay. You can see Von Ben has in his hand still the axe that you brought, and his knuckles are white with this. And if you look around, like, every single one of the dwarves is just gripping their weapons as if they're, like, about to jump into the fray.
Right.
Once the echoes of Falcarel's call kind of die down, Von Ben just simply says, we must inform the Dane.
Lex steps ahead of everybody and kneels down at the ground and starts looking for tracks.
Buckler just shakes his head and he looks at everybody else and says, "Guys, I don't think we're going to go to Bryn Shander soon."
So if you look around in here, what you can see, there is definitely the markings of dwarven feet. Lots of dwarven feet throughout here, coming in from the tunnel and leading out. And if you follow, the tunnel manages to go along for maybe about, it's been burrowed in there somehow. Some enormous creature or some enormous device has dug through here. And you actually I think you can tell, Lex, because of the regular patterns that are on here, it's some sort of magic that has been used here, or device. But it very quickly gets lost it carries down into those dark places, and you get worried about getting lost down here.
I'll circle back and let everybody know.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna have to go
But
down.
this is, I mean, it was tons of the stuff that was down here.
Yeah, because there's a whole Hammerstone militia.
Yeah. So, we can cut to you guys back with the council with the king. And the king has now, you've seen there's more and more people who are beginning to sort of appear here. The members of the other parts of the clergy, the king's wife, the priestess of Baranar Truesilver, Dane Stokely Silverstream himself, Von Ben, Adric is there. Everyone is, sort of has finished bringing him up to speed. And he simply is sort of gripping the maul that he has as sort of his... it's not a maul, but it's like a scepter kind of that looks with a big hammer head on the end, I suppose it would have an axe head on the end. He has it gripped tightly, and he's focused down on the table ahead of him as if he's processing and considering all of these things. You didn't see him this upset when he was dealing with Barrack Hammerstone, even. The tenor of this meeting with the king is that this is a war council. So then they finish up, and then Von Ben says, our friends from outside the Dale, they were the ones who first found or brought news of this. Had they not brought this information, we would not have uncovered this theft. And Dane looks over at you guys, or I keep calling him Dane as if it's his name. Silverstream looks over at you guys and says, then, that's the first time you've seen him look up from the point on the table he's been staring at for the last hour as he's been listening to what everyone has to say. And once again, you are the bearer of Revealer of secrets for us. Again, the dwarves of the valley are indebted to you.
We're a family. There's burdens are shared. There's no debt owed.
My sympathies with the people of Caer Dineval. They have long been friends of the dwarves, and that they understandably would think us responsible for this. We will see. We will see something done to rectify that for them. But you saw nothing further of the deep dwarfs.
No, we were not there when it happened. But with the news that we found here, we might want to look into it. Because those that dig deep here might come across things that are better left buried.
How would they have known it?
I don't know. That's...
Was the vault on the eastern side of the cleft or the west?
The vault was on the eastern side, I believe.
I was wondering if maybe the Luskins could have found a way to dig down and around to get to it if they were involved with it, but that didn't seem likely. Not in a month.
Well, and Lex is confident it was all dwarves among them. There was no one else other than dwarves in that vault.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they didn't learn a bit from somewhere else.
But no one could have known about it unless some Hammerstone survived or Hammerstone sympathizers and leaked the location of the vault.
Von Bin asked, have the Arcane Brotherhood, have they expressed desire for the Black Ice? Or is it
Not that I know of.
these secrets that you speak, the lost human city?
The Netherese City?
Yes. I don't think they show any interest in the Black Ice, so that I know of.
Power calls to them, though, so...
Maybe.
If they had sought the Black Ice, this is Von Bin, did they not have ample opportunity to make use of it?
Seems like they would have, but they don't.
But they did not.
They didn't, no.
Who introduced the Black Ice to the Hammerstone?
Baka and the Luskins,
Barrack.
right?
Barrack was the first.
Eric Hammerstone, yeah. That's right, he found it.
But Barrack died before we learned how Barrack learned of it and where he got his supply.
Silverstream says you spoke of a voice when you fought or faced that terror beneath the earth.
Yeah.
Indeed.
The one who spoke of the necromancer, the master of the Crystal Tower.
Mhm.
Would he have been behind this? Would he have some involvement?
That's possible.
They tell that
Could have regrouped and
he came from Luskan, outcast by the Arcane Brotherhood, which is what led to his rising to power with the Crystal Shard.
Yeah, but I don't think we thought that he was... The voice was actually belonged to... I forgot this character's name already.
Akar Kessel?
Akar Kessel, yeah.
Yep.
We kind of thought that that was a ruse of sorts.
So then, someone posing, perhaps, he may have been the one to show Barrack the way. Though,
That's possible.
Silverstream says, though, Barrack was not always as such. I did not know the dwarf before, but I'll say that he became a different man after he found the Black Ice. Then what? Are they in league with the White Witch? Or do they have
we're
some
not
other
really
goal?
sure, but we have some suspicions.
The Black Ice. This is Silverstream still. Is the black ice solely the domain of the White Witch?
I don't believe so.
Then
We don't know.
Yeah, we're not sure. Doesn't seem like it.
Falcor just shakes his head and he says, it seems to be that there's many things happening here that are unrelated but could be related, and something's at the eye of this storm.
if the ice, and this is Von Bin, says if the ice is simply a tool and not a way of, and not a plan of the White Witch, then why? What do the Dvergar, what do the Deep Brothers have? What purpose for taking so much? Other than taking what is, and he looks at Silverstream, taking what is ours when they see us weak.
Well, I suppose we could go down the hole and find out.
The Von Bin sort of snaps back, or Adric maybe is one who says something. He says you would go into their domain, thinking yourself to hunt them.
We were maybe hoping we'd get some support, but not
you're too eager to go down dark holes with little preparation.
I'm saying we have preparation. It seems like all of you have a vested interest in recovering the black ice and killing some Dwargar in the process. Well, maybe I didn't. Maybe I wrongly have a wrong idea of you dwarves, but
there's a bit of a at the table.
Whoa. Question of honor, Grim.
And what Adric says is he puts his hand up. He says our friend speaks from a place of ignorance.
Yes.
And he looks at Grim and he says, "Would you hunt a bear by walking into its cave?"
if it wasn't going to come out, I would. If I had to write, as we can lure it out.
You would seem eager to see a well-fed bear.
He's got a point. Bears are dangerous in their caves.
If you are not, I have no doubt that you are masters of the wilds and the open spaces that make up the Dale. But the deep places, that is their domain. And for you to enter there without... They could have a legion standing next to you, and you would never see them.
It would have taken a legion to get all that black ice in that time.
Or other assistance. The Silverstream's wife speaks out and says, what concerns me is that the vault was warded. Magic could not have detected it. Only knowing the location could have led them to it. And she sort of lets the implication of that hang.
Would you be suggesting some kind of magic, or... And Fargo looks around and says, I hesitate to say this, but a traitor in the midst that gave away the location?
And as well as the location in Cardinival. Perhaps. How else would they know that?
Von Bin says, did they ward? Was it warded?
They had little to no magic there.
But they didn't tell anybody about it. It was supposed to be a secret. They didn't even tell us that they were keeping some.
In this town that small, there are hardly secrets.
Adric kind of, you can see his beard sort of goes up as the corner of his mouth smiles, and he says, there are ways of finding the secrets of those who would keep them.
Not there are.
And that's when the Dane's wife once again says, "But this was warded." Unless
somebody had to physically know where it was at.
Someone would have to have known where it was. Steps were taken to ensure that no would-be successor to Barrack Hammerstone could access that. And I am certain that the wards held. And she looks almost apologetically at her husband, because it's not something she's happy to share, having just gone through a civil war. But yeah, the second of your suggestions, Falkrol, seems to be the implication. There is a traitor in the ranks.
Yeah.
That revelation leads to a kind of you can picture this as a long stone hall, a table full of dwarves dressed in various things, and there's a silence that falls over this that just hangs heavily as they are looking at from one to another. Someone's phone is ringing.
Sorry.
Sorry, I thought I had this on vibrate.
Sorry. I've got the Adventurers Union conference tomorrow. And sending me business. Let me put it over.
Oh, sorry, Mo. I didn't mean to give you shit. I was joking about the thing. No, that's totally fine.
No, my phone's charging just next to the...
No problem. So what do you, I guess you guys are... Unless you have something to say to break the silence, then it will be the Dane who speaks next.
Lex doesn't have the nerve to say anything at the moment.
Says then, then war it is. He hits the staff on the ground. We make preparations for defense, and I have not forgotten. He turns towards you guys. I have not forgotten my promise. And he points to Von Bin and he says, "Take there and heed what we need and what we can spare to make things as right as can be with Caer Dineval, and we will send." We will send a... I'm trying to think what he would call it. 4 riders.
Delegation?
I was trying to think of the connect. He wants to send 4 ram riders out to meet with the refugees and to bring them back safe. If there are the Dark Dwarves, if there are the Dvergar in the region as well too, your people need to get back safe. So he'll send those out.
Bach will tell the king that the Rhaegar tribesmen are very grateful for your hospitality and have stated, at least their leader, that they would join you in any battle that is yours to defend your lands.
They may... It is not a enviable position, but this will not be the first that we are facing enemies above and below. Allies will be welcome. I wish I knew their minds. Then there's preparations, and with that, the council is dismissed. Everyone sort of breaks up into their own little cliques and whatnot. The Dane and his wife leave, and his retinue leave. Von Bin says that he will meet with you again tomorrow, and they'll discuss this. There are immediate preparations that need to be made now. Adric seems to have disappeared, and you guys are unless you're wanting to make chit-chat with the dwarves who don't seem to be keen on that, you can impose yourself in onto the conversations if you like. If you're not wanting to do that, you guys can feel free to return to your quarters and have an opportunity to talk about what's happened here.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to reassess our immediate plans if the dwarves are preparing for war.
I will say one thing. It's not our Candlekeep problem potential that's causing this, because I wasn't there when we disposed of the Black Ice in both Caer Dineval and in the Dwarven Valley, so that's not the issue.
That's one thing to narrow things down. It's a relief not to worry about that.
Yeah.
Or a store.
I was wondering about I always forget this. How much did we know about Cola's corruption?
You definitely know that he was corrupted because you guys had to wrestle him to the ground and take that stuff from him, and then you also found him hoarding black ice that he had dug up from the corpse of one of the black ice berserkers.
Right. So
Yeah,
is there any
but
possibility that he disclosed this to somebody.
well, he was already at the lake, and when he got corrupted by the sliver and the altar thing, the main head that we dropped in the water. So,
And there is what you can't. I mean, one of the things that would speak against him, Clangett and Silverbeard is a implacable foe of Latiger and his favored of the Dark Dwarves, the Dvergar. It would be inconceivable to be both allied or working to the benefit of the Dvergar and being a devotee of Clangett and Silverbeard.
He'd get cut off from his divine powers.
Yeah. And apart from finding the Delver's staff, I'm not sure you guys found any evidence that Barrick, that his corruption and his insurrection was in any way connected to the Dark Dwarves.
Yeah.
This may indeed be something completely either new or something that was going on that you weren't aware of yet. One thing that you can think of, though, is that unless they had phenomenally powerful magics, like teleporting a whole group in here, the Underdark is, even though they live down there and whatnot, they're not. The Underdark is dangerous for everybody who lives down there. If they're able to send out a raiding party or something like that, they have to have a home base. They have to have some place where they keep as their thing. And that's the concern that I think that the dwarves have, is that they know that these conquerors don't just... It's not a small thing to move yourself across the Underdark and set up in a new location.
Yeah.
That's an act of invasion.
And that takes time and planning.
Yeah. So this could have been, hundreds of years in the making.
is any way we could tell how long ago the theft occurred? Like, within the last 6 weeks?
Definitely within the last 6 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
It's only been about 2 months since you defeated Barrick, right?
Okay. Wow, so it happened quickly. Like, hardly enough time for word to get out and for them to get here.
And for them to deploy the kind of resources that would be needed to make a raid across the Underdark into the vault and then make off with all that stuff.
Without letting anybody become aware of that.
Yeah. So that means that what you would know is that, like, to undertake that kind of task, like, this is not something that a small group could just decide to do on a whim. If it was something that was a raid of opportunity, then you gotta appreciate how much power or how much they have at their disposal to be able to throw something like that together.
Yeah. Grim's not going to say anything, but he's kind of admiring these dark.
Oh no doubt, yeah.
Yeah.
They're you don't survive down there and thrive and found empires, without knowing a thing or two.
Yeah.
So.
Something to dwell on.
Mm-hmm. So
Not
what do you?
Long. We only have 2 weeks till our next session.
With that, and with some definitely some meat to chew over, let's call that a session. So
Right.
I think what we'll do, guys, is I know we haven't spent any astonishing fortune, I don't think, this time.
No.
And it was a very RP heavy session, but I think we'll still say that everyone gets 500 XP for today.
Nice.
Okay. So, a lot of development, so some time to think of how you wish to what you wish to do next. You still the problem with the Arcane Brotherhood has not changed. All those problems that you listed before definitely have not changed. It's just something you're now aware of, something else that has happened. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 51? No, 71. Holy shit. Of our Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, you can find a link to the description, link in the description of the video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we've got channels dedicated to this campaign, every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other great channels with a bunch of great people. So tons of great topics of conversation, tons of great. You can find a group to play with. You can talk about try and find people to play in your game. So lots of great stuff over there. You are more than welcome to join us there. You can also find a link in the description of the video to the Heroes Save Villages charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel. That benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really great organization active in over 130 countries that benefits over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. For those who did get back to me with the prizes, there's two prizes, which is the dice tray and the copy of the City of Mist box set. Those will be going in the mail. I'm going to try on Monday. I've got them all packed up. Everything's ready to go, so it will be heading out. My apologies for taking so long. I was unfortunately in quarantine for a while and then got buried in day job stuff, so that stuff will be going out. Our next charity raffle will be on August 1st, 2021, and from April 1st, 2021 until August 1st, 2021, for every $25 Canadian that you donate, you get one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. The grand prize is a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Legendary Edition Curse of Strahd, a really amazing version of the Curse of Strahd box set, complete with a whole host of big, massive layout maps that cover the entire castle, a bunch of great handouts and whatnot, and it's just a truly gorgeous product. And if you don't win that, the second prize is going to be a copy of their upcoming Shadowy Silver Edition of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, which looks to be really, really cool. So it'll be much in the vein, I think, of their Eberron box set, in the sense that it's a harkening back to the old school campaign setting box sets. But I look forward to seeing that as well. And if you don't win that, you still could win a chainmail dice bag that our resident armorsmith, Dave, has very generously donated for the campaign. And if you don't win that, you still could possibly win one of the prizes from the Redbubble store, the Dungeon Musings Redbubble shop. So t-shirts and posters and mugs, so a bunch of great stuff. In addition to that, potentially winning some good gaming stuff, you also get a chance to vote on the games that we're going to be running for our charity sessions. Currently, voting is going on for the next charity session, which will be a sci-fi game. We have 4 games to vote from, and you can, once you've made a donation, and if it's been since April 1st, 2021, you can head on over to the Charity Initiatives channel and cast your vote there. Voting closes on June 1st. And then the week before that session, we will be having an opportunity for you to spend the money that you donated since April 1st, 2021 to help outfit our heroes. So you do get a chance to help gear them up to survive the bullshit that I intend on throwing at them in that charity session. The last thing that you do is that all the money that is donated goes directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel. None of it goes to any other middleman. It just goes to help out those kids. So you get a chance to potentially win some gaming stuff, to help shape what's on the channel, to help the heroes who are playing in those charity sessions, and you get a chance to help out some kids who could really use some help. So all good stuff. And speaking of good stuff, let me say a huge thank you to our players from today. So Dave, Brandon, John, and Mo, thank you so much for playing today, guys. This has been a very interesting session. So,
It was fun.
for those listening at home, if you are joining us during the current crisis, the reason that we kicked off this quarantine campaign, we do hope this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. We hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes in the Icewind Dale keep uncovering. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.
See ya.
Yeah.